Great, greetings. Join us. Okay, so this is the whole thing with Anne Heche. I guess she was high on, I don't know the whole details of it, but she crashed. She was high on something apparently. She crashed into a house. Yeah, she crashed into a house on, I would say it's Hollywood Boulevard, but I don't think it's Hollywood Boulevard, but I'm getting that vibe for some reason. But anyway, and she was like 50 or something. Maybe she was 60. Either way, something about it is none of that felt right. I did a slight channeling on it before. I'm not gonna like channel the higher self or anything. I might do a little bit of the higher self, but not. I'm trying to be respectful as much as possible, but none of that feels right. Like on a spiritual level, especially if you're a Hollywood celebrity, depending on who you are, especially if I read or heard this right. I didn't do that much research on this. I wasn't going to do this in the title, but here we are. Apparently, her dad's the first person to have AIDS, according to if you want to believe in all that. Um, Also, she went through, I believe, sexual abuse, which is no surprise. It's Hollywood, right? So that's what you do over there, apparently. But of course, she's with the Ellen DeGeneres situation. But I feel like she was pretty happy in her family, from what I can pick up on. And I mean, now an energy attack can be, yeah, can really take you over. If they want you gone, they'll make you gone. It all depends on like the beings that do this type of thing. Not to say it's happened in her situation, but just kind of putting it out there to give you some understanding. Like if so, who knows the whole situation there. We'll go to like someone like out Isaac Cappy, if you're aware of him. He was talking about Hollywood celebrities and you know not to go into much detail of that, but that was pretty pretty heavy stuff. And then he just went crazy. You know, they just the beings that took him over, it's him I didn't care that they would get karma for what they did, because I believe they do get karma for things they do, and he just couldn't take it anymore because they go for the mind. They drive you crazy. They try to destroy you mentally. And that's now this is for everybody though, but especially when you go after the Hollywood elite, you can get it's no matter what trying to you gotta be really tough because they just try to drive you crazy and try to end yourself basically. With Anne Heche, it's I don't know what the whole deal is with that, but it feels very suspicious of why would she something came in that took her over, and obviously she wasn't strong enough to fight it, wherever it was, especially if you're in a car, especially if you're doing kind of substance of some kind. Yeah, it's easy to be on your way out of here. So yeah, it's a strange deal there altogether. So yeah, it's not going to have the best answers of something like that, but it is if you're on the spiritual path, and even those that are spiritually aware of all this. I mean, you already see people in the spiritual community getting attacked all the time. They're going through their stuff. It's quite understandable. You can be a tarot card reader. You can be anybody. You can get under some kind of influence. It's we're all human. We have to go through our stuff, especially when you're doing spiritual work. You're just asking for trouble. You're just I mean, everybody is, but when you're trying to help others, and all that, obviously, they just want you gone. So they're gonna find some way in there. It all depends on the situation, though. So, but Anne Heche, it feels like she was pretty happy overall. I mean, she might have had some vices, and I'm not going to read too much into it, trying to be respectful, but it feels like there was some kind of attachment, and it just, you know, some beings would do stuff like this out of just entertainment for themselves. It's all. I feel like there's a little bit of that going on there. Of course, the person's going through their own darkness, but it basically it's like a kind of like a soul hijacking, and that's the other thing. So if you die like that, depending on the situation, like Isaac Cappy, I feel like he was after he died. I feel like he was protected. Of course, there's no way to know that, but I feel like who knows? But I'm not gonna go into too deep into that one. But like with Anne Heche is like, especially if you're doing some kind of drug of some kind, you kind of open yourself up to being taken over, which you're already kind of going through that already. If there was a cocaine situation, and then you can be like you get into an accident, you die in that situation. It's soul capturing energies are definitely there. So you just be careful of substances of some kind. You never know. Not to put fear out there or anything, but it's just the way it is. So yeah, it's just especially if that was true, she was doing kind of some kind of drug while driving. It's easy to get an attachment and easy to, you know, crash and all that, be taken over. So there's different timelines here of why something like that would occur. It's just it's not great. Like even like Kobe Bryant, I think it's Kobe Bryant. I think he's the one that died before the pandemic. Died in a helicopter accident, and that was a little strange too. With the whole thing with the winds and all that, that was all. So Hollywood obviously is a place of rituals, and we'll never get the full story on it. But it's distractions, it's this and that, it's all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's like a sacrifice, you can say. So I think that was the one I did a channeling on this a couple of days ago about and it felt like it was some kind of. If I remember, I'm sorry, I kind of remember it was kind of like a sacrifice of some kind, but like I said, we'll never really know. Yeah, black magic and stuff like that, it's all real. Not to put fear out there. Most people are going to probably be fine, but stuff definitely does exist. And digital Jesus. I got a vision of this. I did a channeling on Tron a while back, so Jeff Bridges kind of comes off as like God. I would see him as more of God than Jesus, but I guess Jesus is there too, or that is Jesus. He's in a digital realm. So go into a little bit of that. And K-pop. I don't think I've ever did a channeling on this. K-pop. So that has like some Arcturian energies there. There's some artificial intelligence there. I think was it the Gundam style song came from that, and it's like a whole nother world over there. It's absolutely hilarious, but it's popular. It's fun stuff there. But I was looking up something else. I forgot. I think I was looking up like daytime talk shows and how horrible they are. And because the daytime talk shows, they talk to people like they're idiots. I think I did a video on this a while back. Yeah, like the morning shows we have here in the U.S. They talk to people like they're freaking morons. it's like yeah, everybody here has an IQ of 4. It's so talk about playing it safe. So it's just the way it's just whatever. Even Ellen's show is kind of it's like they're talking to everybody like they're fools. It's just anyway, whatever. Anyway, that's why I found the K-pop stuff, and I haven't done channeling on that, so what happens to those energies? But definitely artificial intelligence and some of that. Not to say it's bad or anything like that. It's just rewriting the energies here. It's not a bad thing or anything. It's just it's probably a lot more entertaining than modern music here in the U.S. I guess it all depends on. Either way, before I put myself in a situation on that one. As I'm talking comedy prayer sessions. Got the scheduler, got the shop here. I'm somewhere. I'm on, I don't know. I'm in the beginning of August somewhere, slowly getting in there. Is this August? Yeah. Same situation here. Webinar, social network. 6 people are online. Cool. And behind the scenes. And yeah, we have the digital Jesus. Even that was kind of like a Jesus God energy. Is there you can control the reality and the Tron world, which is pretty fascinating when you think about it. Even has like a digital version of himself, which it makes sense why they would have something like that. But it just putting that out there to see different aspects of what a Jesus is like in other realms. So it's just it's just not just what you see here. I mean, it looks very God-like, Jesus-like. So just putting that out there. So, and of course, there's others that have other details of that, but it's just still very in the whole Tron world and all that. I mean, even there, it was like a Jesus thing there. God, it was like God actually. So either way, it's just something to think about when you look at different realities and all that, just to have a different perspective. And you can say even Tron is kind of like on someone's computer somewhere, where these realities do exist. So, and you got K-pop, and yeah, some of this is. I feel like there's a lot of artificial intelligence here. There is some cloning energy going on here. Like I say, it's not a bad thing. It just changing the vibrations here. It's just upping the energies, because the U.S. is so heavy. And you go to Asia and Korea where it's a lot lighter. So just basically, and there's a lot of feline energies there too, obviously. There's a little bit of everything there, but it's just basically the light and the frequencies because the US is just going through all kinds of stuff. And not to say they don't have anything going on in Korea either, but it's just there to, bring a more high vibration there. I don't think you even have Chinese K-pop. I don't know. Japan, Korea, I guess China does to a certain level somewhere. I imagine some of them are Chinese, but either way, it's just to heighten the frequency overall. Yeah, the world needs all it can get right now. Yeah, it's really just about energy, really, when it comes down to it. Just heightening the fullest out of complete and utter despair. So. Is there just another way of looking at it? There's a lot of Arcturian energies. Yeah, if you want to catch an Arcturian world and other realities, that gives you a version of it. Of course, the U.S. we're just going through all kinds of, karma from Europe and just healing European energies here in the U.S. From past life energies. So it gets kind of complicated there for obvious reasons. So, and Heche energy, I guess I can tap into some of that. I was going to tap into some of the Palladian. Like a Palladian frequency there. It's like there's a cloning energy around her, but it is a celebrity, so of course. Yeah, unfortunately, the celebrities are known to be copied a lot. They can. I don't know. There's no way to really prove it here physically. It'd be nice to be able to. Yeah, it's just. They can take somebody like that and copy him and put him in some other reality, but anyway, whatever. Also, Anne Heche has like a robotic energy there, like an android being with some other reality. So there's that also. Okay, just check see everything's running. Okay, all right. So we have digital Jesus, K-pop, and yeah, Anne Heche energy. That's happened to some of that. Yeah, I'm trying to be, we're trying to be as kind as possible with that. Doing those energies, but on a spiritual level, it's something to think about. Soul hijack. I mean, seriously, people don't recognize, obviously, on your average person, they don't think about this stuff until before they die or get old. Then all of a sudden they start thinking about it. Even religion doesn't talk about it. Obviously, and another thing about religion I forgot about. Unfortunately, there's soul catching there too. Some religions, not well, it's not all, but they want you to join this religion and all that, and then they about to leave and they can take over your soul. Some of them can. It's just the way it is. It's good for business, right? Keep them coming back. It's one way of doing it. So, all right. Okay, we're gonna do Heche, Digital Jesus, and K-pop. So, all right, blessings. Greece uses the consciousness, higher self, consciousness of the Heche energies. Not to go into too much detail on the person's lifestyle, but yes, of course, they're feeling the soul of Anna is feeling the love of society, especially those that she help heal through their life ordeal, especially understanding their own sexual preference, their own sexual identity. So she's very much involved with that. For her souls can be more open with it, more comfortable with it. So that's one of the reasons why she chose this incarnation, to help others just explore themselves and make it popular, not in a manipulative way, but basically for the soul to expand itself, to heal depression, actually, for those that want to be themselves. Yes, to connect more to the bisexual side of the soul, but just once again to have the freedom to do whatever you want, in a respectful way, not in a rude type of way, not in a controlling way, but in a way where the soul can express itself and not be afraid. She connected to Ellen because Ellen has a lot of masculine energies, as you can see, and she just felt very protective. Of course, Ellen's very, as some of you know, arrogant, and there's other things involved with that. So she's kind of impossible to be around. I think people already know that already. But for Anne, also, she has an angelic energy. So he said she came to heal the Hollywood frequency as much as possible. And she knew the risk what she was getting involved with. As for the deaths, I'm not going to go into too much details of that because that's very personal. But overall, her energy is there to help others understand their sexual identity, but also just release any negative frequencies to connect with oneself. So we're just going to keep it short on that. So blessings to you. Greetings to you. This is the Yeshua consciousness, Jesus energy. A Jesus of the future. There are many different types of Jesuses in the future, and some of you have had those incarnations of yourself, basically for a digital revolution. There are worlds on a microchip. There are anywhere you see or think of a hologram reality can exist. Even a tree can have its own civilization within itself. Of course, I don't explore that too much, but a tree, grass can have it. Usually, trees are mostly known for a different reality connected to it. So, the digital realm Jesus is there to connect with everything, be part of all of realities, as you are. And yes, the Jesus frequency, at least on your earth, is allowed to have the highest power. Well, a higher dimensional energy, not the highest of everyone, but to guide, to connect, to open up doors, realities, for others to figure out their own selves. And it's up to you where you go with, and is what you're comfortable with. Souls are still not always comfortable with the digital realms, but some are. Some of you feel like you're home there. So there's different aspects of all of this, but yeah, not everyone's going to be comfortable with the digital realm, but quite a few have been disconnecting from it. They're still healing from it. People wonder what they're healing from, especially with all these digital cell phones and all this coming to this reality. So some are having difficulties figuring out their own identity here. Well, realize, this is on a general level. You have a reality somewhere where you feel like you have it all figured out. And that can be an earth reality. It can be In spirit, yes, of course, but even a physical reality, you can have everything together. So it's up to you, to remember. But you're here to create new thoughts, new likes, dislikes, new things. Even if you don't like this reality, some of you are here to build a new reality here. You're just not fully aware of it currently. The soul is very complicated, as you can see. You are feeling a lot of the agendas that are going on. And yes, some beings want to put you into a digital realm and lock you there forever. But then again, you're kind of locked here to a certain level. So exploring other dimensions, other digital realms is a way of, you can say, escaping this one into another one. That's up to the soul to decide. And you're on this planet, so you're experiencing all these different realities at once. So there is a digital reality some of you are experiencing, and that's where some of your depression can come from. And you're just basically here to unlock your realities on so many different levels. So some of you do have a digital side of yourself somewhere. You don't have to like it. You don't have to connect to it. So if you have a tree side of yourself, you have all these sides of yourselves that intermingle with you today. So you can access any type of version of you, even a godlike version of you. Really wish to bring that in. Yeah, you wonder what type of God to tap into. It is you, the God, your God consciousness, your connections to the higher realms, your version of the spirit realm. And it's not always going to give you all the answers, of course, because you're here part of a story of this reality. As you know, this reality has its own themes, its own agendas, and sometimes better you don't remember everything due to this earth incarnation. But for digital realms, even for physical realms, some of you have created these places yourselves. And there might be a time period on this planet like the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, the Roman times, Atlantean times. A lot of you contributed to those realities being created. Even this reality contributing to that. So think about some of you here now. You're actually working on building up the future, a better future. Not to say this one's horrible. Yes, it might have things you do not like about it because you feel the agendas. But the future is really what you're here to work on. You wonder what your purpose in life is. It's examining this reality, handling this reality, understanding how people react. You're basically all downloading knowledge here in this reality. But really, it comes down to, for many of you, maybe not everyone, but many of you are building a new future. Some of you already feel that frequency within yourself. And some of you have had realities within a iPod, a computer. You've been stuck on dimension, in someone's computer files. Seriously, their reality. It might not be the most sophisticated reality, but you can see holes in it. You can see holes in this reality too. This one's not so perfect as it might seem. Obviously, it's not perfect, but you see the flaws in it currently. Well, you can say this reality is an idea. And a lot of souls came here to let themselves go. They just, yes, many souls become lazy. Some are just, they get used to adapt to the system that's here because they're amazed. Their higher self is kind of amazed they even put up with a lot of this in this realm. But because they became complacent, they notice something they have to ride out. They have to live it. I mean, some of you obviously are breaking free of it, but many are not. It's what their soul needs to go through. It doesn't have to make a whole lot of sense. It's not supposed to. When does anything ever make sense? You define what makes sense to you. Greetings to you. We are the K-pop energy. Yes, to jack into your reality, give you an energy burst. We are kind of like Twizzlers. We are like the Sizzler. We are energy from other realms to fire your place up, to add color, to add music, to add anything. Basically, is like we are the crack cocaine from other dimensions. So basically plug into your reality to shift everything. Yes, turn into a party to maybe overdo it because higher dimensional energies can be kind of overwhelming in this reality. Yes, it's basically a humorous energy we bring in, but it's basically just loud energy coming from other dimensions, other universes. Basically, many in the spirit realm would rather listen to K-pop energies and high vibration energies and all the nonsense of the rest of the world. Well, it's not those things are good. I mean, it's what the soul needs to go through, but also you need candy in your life. So that's the K-pop energy is candy for the mind. The mind to basically to unwind, release. It's for those that want to party, and it's not for everybody because it can be too high vibration for some, but for others, it is there for you to relax, to release. It might be goofy type of music, but it is upbeat. It is there to heal. So it is, yes, not for everybody. It was never intended to be for everyone. Some have to go through their own darkness, their own rain showers, their own thunder. And that's quite all right. You're diving into your soul, the diving board into madness. But if the higher vibrate doesn't mean you have to listen to this music all the time or listen to it at all, but just know it's there. It's open up portals, vibrations, help your world relax. And even Mother Earth can get kind of annoyed by Asian music sometimes. Well, it can get kind of out of hand. It's like even Mother has to tone it down a little bit sometimes. Well, because the rest of the world can't handle it. And so it has to kind of like shut the window a little bit. Just a little bit. You hear music outside, it's like, "God, it's really ruined my concentration." Because the rest of the world has to go through its own dark side of the soul and things like that. And not to say that Asia is out of that energy, but it's basically just bringing a frequency of hipness, light, ridiculousness, and welcome to the spirit world. Yes, there's unicorn energies. Unicorns usually pass gas and things like that, tell bad jokes. But some of you are connected to those realities just to party, dance, and just not worry about life situations. Of course, there is a lot of life built into that music, just basically to help you shrug things off, release. And so there's a lot of butterfly energies there. There's a lot of digital energies there. Even the AI energy can be upbeat there. So there are AIs in the higher dimensions, and it can be nice. It doesn't all have to be terrible. But that's the energies you're connected to. Obviously, you connect to works with you. Some people listen to country music, and that helps the romantic side. Some people listen to rock music. That's kind of like the crazy side, sort of. Like if you're rock and roll, you want to literally rock and roll your reality. Just so that you know. All right, that's all we have. Blessings soon.